And welcome. Gizmo Z, glad you are here. First time. Fantastic. And if I could just get a quick verification that you can hear my voice, that'd be great. All right, thank you, Daniel and everyone. Appreciate that. Eric, Nick, nice. Thank you. All right, we're going to start here in about 7 minutes. This is a quiz. We have about 13, somewhere between 13 and 18 questions today, but they're all 30 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. I'm so glad that you're here. If this is our first time together with a live event, my goodness, so great to have you here. My name's Keith Barker. It's great to get to know you right after this live quiz. If you have follow-up questions or want to chat, we'll be in the Discord server. There's a link to it in the description for the video. I want to make myself, I love being able to connect. It's fantastic. So it's the CCNA voice room. We just hang out there for a few minutes. You can ask questions. We can clarify questions from the quiz. Ask about help on your studies for, if you're studying something regarding CCNA. It's all good. So welcome. I'll be back in just a moment. And a special welcome to Danielle. Glad you found us too. It's going to be fun. Also, if you're new to the channel, there's also a history of like 50 or so quizzes that are recorded in a playlist called Quizzes, so you can check those out on YouTube as well. And Dan, regarding the Discord, Dan CUJO, regarding the Discord server, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but if you want to reach out to one of the admins, or you can't even log into my server, I'm not sure why that would be. But we definitely want you there if you want to be there. So if you can reach out to one of the admins or to the moderators or me with a direct message, maybe we can sort that out for you. All right, Thermal Cowboy. First time here. Glad to have you. I see a bunch of moderators in the house. Grateful for everybody who provides a lot of service, not just here, but also in Discord and helping answer people's questions. Fantastic. We're going to start here in about 2 minutes. Wow, Gizmo, great. Did the network check lab in 2 hours or so. That's great. That had so many challenges that were put in by Chuck and also by Kelvin and others. They crowdsourced the problems for that lab, and it was a winner. So good job on taking it on. And Blended Native, thank you very much for the well wishes and the super sticker. Jamaica's in the house, taking exam in November. All right, this is a great place to brush up. Glad you're here. Sierra Leone is in the house. Abraham, good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. All right, it is time to start. Here we go. If somebody pops in late, the pin number should be at the bottom of the screen. Encourage them to use that. Otherwise, here we go. My name is Keith Barker. I'm glad to have you here. I'm a double CCNA, and I focus a lot these days on the fundamentals and helping other people get their CCNA and those base level skills. Here is the first of 17 questions. Which protocol uses the well-known port of UDP port 67 All these questions are super fast, like 30 seconds each. Good luck, everybody. Indeed. DHCP, the server well-known port is UDP 67. Nice work. The client port is UDP port 68. All right, we're one down and 16 to go. Here we go. Used to learn the MAC address of a host on the same local subnet. It's one of these four. All right, I also have a request. Perfect. Way to go. 95. Nailed it. We've all got that down. Also, please answer in the game input interface like kahoot.it or open up the app. Either way is great. That's the way you can participate and get points for actually playing. So avoid the chats. And we got a lot of people reminding you of that. So if you could follow that, that'd be great. Wow. Layer 2 to layer 3 mapping. ARP. Who would have thunk? All right, moving on. Here's question 3 of 17. What controls which routing information actually gets into the routing table? All right. It is indeed administrative distance. We're doing great. I'm so impressed. Nice work. So once the routes are in the routing table, then it's a different story. Then it's all about longest match. But as far as two exact routes, as far as the same, network that's reachable, if that's advertised by two different sources, let's say EIGRP and BGP of some flavor, it's the lower AD that gets it in the routing table. Okay, here we go. Question 4. This input error could be due to a bad cable. All right, fantastic. Cyclical redundancy checks definitely could be due as an input error due to a bad cable. Fantastic. SYNs have nothing to do with that. MTU has nothing to do with that. Acknowledgements have nothing to do with that. All right, here we go. Question number 5, moving right along. This is used for encryption inside of an IPsec tunnel. All right, it is Advanced Encryption Standards, or that's an encryption protocol that's used or can be used by IPsec. Other protocols, which we don't use too much anymore, would include triple DES or even worse, DES. And then MD5 is a hashing algorithm. SSH is a fantastic secure channel method that's used for a lot of things, not just remote access, but it's not used inside of an IPsec tunnel. It's used for SSH things like SSH secure shell, or maybe using SSH along with a transport protocol like secure copy, and then SHA-1 is an example of a hashing algorithm. Wow, we're doing great. We're crushing it. Here's question 6 of 17. It's multiple select. Blank uses TACACS Plus. Blank using TACACS Plus has separate functions for authentication and authorization. There's 2 correct answers. All right, 802.1x as an authentication, as a port authentication mechanism, either for a switch or with wireless. That can be used with the backend server, a AAA server that could be using Radius or TACACS. And then AAA is one of the options for using TACACS. So with TACACS Plus, it has separate logical functions for authentication and authorization. Radius, they kind of lump that together. And that's why green and blue are the two correct answers here. All right, we got a bunch with Radius. Good, good, good. Not too many on a Pippa. That's coming up. Here's question number 7. OOB, which is out of band management, using the auxiliary port is an example of using what? All right. One of the benefits of using, let me just get a pen out for a moment. This will be quick. Let me find my pen. Let me launch my pen. A lot of buttons here. And here we go. So let's imagine we have a router and it has two interfaces, gigabit 0/0 and 0/1. And those go to two different switches perhaps. And then all of a sudden we have a tremendous failure in the network and we lose both interfaces. So basically we have no management access to this device. Network devices, including Cisco devices, have a console port, and many of them have an auxiliary port. They're both serial. So if we had a terminal server, and you and I connected the terminal server, and then we had some rollover cables that went to either the console port or the auxiliary port, we could then go ahead and connect to the terminal server and manage this router, even though it lost all of its Ethernet connectivity. That's a great example of out-of-band management. Another example would be create a separate VLAN for managing our networks and then use that for management. But if we're connecting on these serial interfaces, console port or the auxiliary port, we are using a command line interface to interact and work with the device at that point. So that's why I was looking for red there. Let me clear that all off. You're doing great. Here is question number 8. Another common name for this is a layer 2 broadcast domain. The faster you answer correctly, the more points you get. Nailed it. So what do you call it if it's running IPv6? What if you're running an IPv6 network in a layer 2 VLAN? What do you call it then? Is it a broadcast domain? Because IPv6 doesn't use broadcast. We don't need to worry about that. A broadcast domain is a broadcast domain, and it's also the domain as far as a multicast will travel also in the world of IPv6. Nice work on that. Nailed it. All right, here we go. Question 9 of 17. Zombie computers, woo, just in time for Halloween, working with the command and control network can implement what? All right, a distributed denial of service attack is exactly what they could do as a group under the control of the hacker who is in charge of the command and control network. Fantastic work. We're doing great. Here's question 10 of 17. A customer has an IPv4 address that begins with 169. Why? An automatic private IP address assignment happens when a client is a DHCP client. It makes a discover. There's either not a DHCP server local on the subnet, or there's no DHCP relay, no IP helper set up. And it basically makes it discover a few more times, gives up and says, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and use this 169 address space from the automatic private IP address function. And hopefully, maybe I can talk to somebody else who also couldn't get an IP address. But pretty much it's bad news because DHCP has failed in some fashion. And that's what a PIP address starts with 169. Okay, here's question 11. Matching can be done on layer 3 and or layer 4 header information if we're using what? All right. An extended access control list can look at the source destination at layer 3. It can look at the source or destination layer 4 ports and or protocols. So that's an extended access control list. Nice work. And let's take a look at CUs on the leaderboard here. Gentle Bat with 11,195 points. Way to go. Diplomat Iguana, Space Koala, Green Llama, and Creative Wombat. Congrats for making it to the top 5. We have 6 questions to go. All right, let's continue on. Here's question number 12. Multiple select. What is used to resolve names to layer 3 addresses? Definitely DNS, domain name system. And also, if you're a little older, Windows Internet Name Service, which is blue in a Microsoft environment, can also do that as well. I was looking for 2, and those are the 2 I was looking for. All right, let's continue on. And here is question 13. It's multiple select. What provides a redundant default gateway for clients to use and choose any answers that are correct on the board? There's more than just one. These are all examples of devices or mechanisms or protocols that can provide a default gateway, fault tolerance for a default gateway. VRRP is the open standard. FHRP is the classification for first hop redundancy protocols in general. And then Cisco has HSRP, hot standby router protocol. And they also have GLBP, gateway load balancing protocol. So if you answered all of them, my hat's off. Good job. And we have just a few more to go. Multiple select. What uses OIDs? So simple network management protocol for sure. And I actually brought this graphic up, but I brought it in slowly, so it would only be there near the end. This is a demo we did in our office hour one week. If you're studying for Cisco or even just refreshing your networking skills, feel free to join us every Saturday, 10 o'clock a.m. in the Discord server for my office hour. And if I'm out of town or not available, one of the moderators or admins will step in and take over. But it's consistent, it's fun, and you're welcome to come ask questions and participate, we'd love to have you. And then, of course, every Sunday we have these quizzes, except for next Sunday. For the first time in a long time, I'm going to be in an airplane or away. So we're going to, I'll send out a social message for it to talk about it. But no quiz next Sunday, but I'll have something else for you to go ahead and look at and do. So there'll be stuff to practice with. All right, SNMP and Management Information Base, which is used by SNMP, use object IDs. Let's see how many more questions we have. Ooh, just 3 more. Question 15. The server must be local or have a relay from the local network. What is it? And Spring Serenity, I don't record the office hours. They're just a live event, but if it's not convenient for you, there's always the quiz on Sundays. And I've got a couple 100 hours of content on YouTube that can help as well. But they're not recorded. The office hours aren't. All right, that would be DHCP. And if the DHCP server is not on that local subnet where the client is, we need to have a DHCP relay, also in Cisco terms, implemented as the IP helper function on the layer 3 interface on that same local subnet. Okay, here's question 16 of 17. Used by IPv6 to learn the layer 2 address of another device in the same subnet. Scorpio 13 responded to the chat to a question. Google it. I do a lot of Googling myself, and that's how I confirm or verify things. If I'm working with some technology, I'll usually use the vendor's documentation, lab it up, and there's some aspect. I usually go to some kind of context-sensitive help in the interface, whether the CLI or GUI, and then if I need more assistance, I will Google it, and then also do protocol captures just to verify that my understanding of the protocols and ports in use are correct. And those are great tools. All right. NDP is an acronym for Neighbor Discovery Protocol. And behind the scenes, that's what IPv6 uses for a boatload of things like who's the routers on the segment. We're using NDP, Neighbor Discovery Protocol. Router solicitations, router advertisements, neighbor solicitations, neighbor advertisements, all under the umbrella of NDP, which uses a boatload of ICMP as well to do its work. All right. I think we have one last question now. Here's the top 5 as we currently have it. It's anybody's game. And the goal here is to enjoy the journey, identify like, well, I never heard of that protocol before. Or what is it? And then just keep on going. So here's the final question in this quiz. Then right after, we'll go over to the Discord server if you want to ask further questions and chat with me live. All right, here we go. Question 17 of 17. TANMAT can help you remember which protocol. And my grammar is really poor. Sorry about that. That was the last minute ad. TANMAT can help you remember which protocol. All right, that's OSPF. That's to remind ourselves all the elements, or at least 6 of them, that have to be in agreement between 2 OSPF neighbors if they want to become fully adjacent. All right, let's take a look. Deep breath. Let's take a look at the podium. Here it is. Rapid Gecko. So nice. Also, if you would, before we leave the stream, if you'd give me a quick chat letting me know what part of the world you're watching this from. You can do continent, you can do country, you can do state, you can do community, whatever you want to do. Just don't give me any, street names and house addresses. Don't need that quite that personal, but just get a feel for what a worldwide community we are. I think we have people from almost every continent here, which is great. All right, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Trinidad, Sweden, Austria, Maryland, Malaysia, Portugal, Zimbabwe, Morocco, Michigan is in the house, Trinidad, UAE, Portugal, Malta, New York, India, DMV, Germany, Israel, Virginia, India, Yangon, India again, UK, Wisconsin, Texas, Ireland, Missouri, Texas, Togo. Togo's in the house. Yeah. Chicago, Belgium. All right. So great to have everybody here. I am pleased every week to just have some community and chat with everybody and just brush up. And let's take a look. Whoa. You know what? I got to take a breath because this is the first time in almost 2 years of doing these on every weekend where we don't have a single difficult question. I think it's where we got less than 50% correct. Every question had at least 50% or better from the group. That is fantastic. I should take a screenshot. If I kept a journal, I'd put it in my journal. So let me go ahead and get some feedback from you as well. And let me also tell you, I appreciate your studies. The world is a fairly small place, and it's not fair to most people. And so if we take steps in the right direction, meaning in a direction of our goals, whatever your goal is, life is going to be a little bit better than if you didn't do that. So it may never be completely fair for anybody, but I do believe that people can get better and better, grow skills, and keep developing those skills. I'm still doing it. I got my first CCNA back in like 1999. And I still learn and I still grow and I still lab stuff up all the time. Now I have a couple of CCIs since then, but and some other vendors as well that I work with, but I keep learning all the time. And I love the community where we revisit the fundamentals. I get a chance to revisit them with you. And for those people who are just coming up in the ranks, getting that CCNA is a great stepping stone as you continue to study the rest of your life. All right, let me go ahead and give you some goodbye music. If you want to join me in the Discord server, I'll be there in just a few moments. There's a link for it in the description of this video. And again, my appreciation for the participation. Be nice to everybody. Do a little bit more than what you're paid for. And you know what? Life is going to get better and better for you. If you're in a really bad spot at the moment, it's not always going to be like that. It's going to change. And so hang in there if you're struggling. Hang in there. Keep on working. And practice like you've never won. And when you perform like you've never lost. And just keep it moving forward. All right, I'm getting off my soapbox, saying goodbye. And I'll see you in Discord if you want to hang out there a little bit further. Until next time we meet, have a great day, weekend, and the rest of your week. Bye-bye.